What's going on, guys? Chris Bourne here, Power Training TV, all things power related. Just reading a question from a young man. He was telling me about, he's asking me about depth jumps from an excessive height. What he describes is an unorthodox method of people being able to jump off, or I don't know where he got it from, 50-inch boxes, basically landing on the balls of your feet and saying, does it help your body to create a higher vertical jump? So let me start off and I'll just try to answer this from experience. First of all, let me break it down, the whole thing behind depth jumps. Your body's absorbing the force. This is the same kind of movements. Basically what he's saying is you would want to do to create that really big rubber bands, that stretch reflex in your muscles. A lot of people suggest a way lower height than 50 inches. I understand where you're coming from. Now, I'll say this from experience. I mentioned this in a video like I think last week or the week before. When I played football in Arizona, I would travel to see this guy, like I said, Dre Schroeder, the guy, if you look him up, Adam Archuleta. When he was coming out of college, his whole thing was like, yo, this guy has a crazy workout, and look what he did in the combine type of deal. His lifting numbers were amazing. But some of the things that I was fascinated about was the plyometrics that they did. Obviously, when I started off, I did not even see any kind of jumping or anything like that. It was more isometric type shit, actually. But after you progress through long enough in that program, they had you doing things like jumping 50 plus inches off boxes and landing almost in like a Russian lunge position. So I can't say that that's great for you to do. I don't want to say that is. From my experience, I've gone a little bit higher with the depth jumps, but this has been in my training, but this wasn't something that I implemented and then I was like all of a sudden like, oh my gosh, I'm cramming like 360s or something like that. It's not some huge thing. I think it was accumulation of all my training, but I can't say that a full amount of this. Here's what I would suggest for you to do though. Let me just go ahead and get to the point. Start off with a little bit smaller. Be able to control that, be able to stick a landing without making movement. Like I teach my athletes here. When you're doing a depth jump, choose basically like a bench. Start off there. Try to land where you're using the glutes, contracting the glutes, and you're basically, the knees aren't past the toes, you're squeezing the glutes, you land soft like a cat, and you don't make any noise, and you don't come down. So basically when you stick it, you just want to stick right there. Right in that position. It's not like you want to bounce or anything like that. If you could do that perfectly, which a lot of people think they can, but they can't. As soon as you could do that, if you need to take video of yourself, go ahead. Then you can start increasing. If you could get to 50 inches, and this is something that you can plant and basically stick the landing like you're a gymnast, and everything looks perfect, then by all means, you're going to jump basically, you know, when you're jumping in the basketball game or something like that, if you have a 40-inch vert, obviously you're coming down 40 inches. So if you could do this, then I'm sure it would help you out in a sense. But like I say, you kids out there, don't go start doing that shit. Start off with something a lot smaller. Start learning how to properly do a depth jump. Start learning how to jump from a depth jump and eliminate the amortization phase. And then you can continue on to upping the height of the box. I hope that helps. Check it out, try it out. Chris Bourne, Power Training TV.